Hello my creative friends. If you know me and my style, you probably know that I love sketches. And I thought today I would show you how I put together a card using this sketch as inspiration. I've already stamped the main image and cut out a few pieces, but I'll give you the measurements as we go along. This is the new From My Heart stamp set. It's a 2-boxer, and I use this too shall pass. The actual saying says, they say this too shall pass. They just never say when. And isn't that so true? I have somebody who's kind of going through a difficult time, and I thought I'd make her a special card and send this to her. I'm also going to use the hang in there, I think, sentiment. But as you can see, I stamped it. I stamped it using Early Espresso onto Whisper White. I've got the standard A2 card base up with 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this is going to go like this. Then I've got this, which is from the Pocket Full of Posies designer series paper, which just retired, but I still love it, so I'm using it. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I kind of wanted to anchor it, so we'll see if I use it, but the mat is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So you just get a little bit of a border all the way around. I also have a piece of, this is chocolate chip cardstock, and I believe it's 1 1/2. Yes, it's 1 1/2 by 5, and I might decide to cut that down, I might not, but I have this, and I'm thinking about embossing it, so we'll see if I end up doing that. I'm going to use the Labels Collection framelits to cut this out. And then I kind of like the look of white on white if you're going to layer. So what I did to get this size is I just lined this up in my in the corner of my grid mat where the ruler is, and found that it's 3 by 2 1/2. So I cut this at 3 by 2 1/2. And I'm also going to emboss this when I bring the Big Shot out. I'm just telling you that because I'm going to bring the Big Shot out and do it all at once. So I think we should bring the Big Shot out next. When I am using the framelits dies or the edgelet dies, the really thin wafer dies, I like to line it up, especially if I'm using a stamped image or if I want to get kind of a straight line. I line it up, and then I just take a Post-it note or some painter's tape and stick it on there like that. This is on tab 2 with one of the clear plates, and then I'll put another one on top and run it through. And you can see that just keeps it in place. Because Post-it notes are low tack, it doesn't really stick. Pops out and you have a perfect frame. Now you can hopefully see what I was saying about wanting to do a white on white layer like that. So then this is just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to run it through with the dots embossing. If you don't have a Big Shot yet at home and you're kind of wondering how it works, it has different tabs. So tab 2, tab 1, and no tab, and thankfully it has pictures to tell you how to line it up. This kind of saves you from having to buy a bunch of different plates or shims to make it work. So this is basically no tabs, meaning both of the tabs go out. I've got my Whisper White cardstock, and I lined up the dots to keep it straight. And it's going to be sandwiched between the 2 clear plates again. and then we'll just run it through. Now we have our dots layer. I'm going to take my new Fancy Fan embossing folder and go ahead and run this strip, the 1.5 inch by 5 inch strip of chocolate chip, through with the Fancy Fan folder. Again, we'll have no tabs. These are the tabs sticking out here. A clear plate. The fan. Oh, I love this. I like both the debossed and the embossed side. So there we go. I think we're done with the Big Shot for right now. I'm going to clean it all up and get it out of the way, and we'll start assembling the card. If you look at the sketch, you can see the little detail they put on the bottom here on their mat. And I wanted to show you a trick on how to do that without measuring. Okay, this is the white piece here is 3 by 2.5. So what I did was I cut this chocolate chip piece out at 3 1/8, and it just needed to be longer than 2.5, obviously. I'm going to take one end, I'm going to line it up in my punch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take the chocolate chip piece and I'm just going to punch it out. Now I've got the little detail down there, and I can take this to my trimmer and just cut off that little bit of extra. After I punch it out, I just put it here on my trimmer and give myself a little bit of a border on the top and the bottom. Kind of eyeballing it right now, and then I remove this so I don't accidentally cut it, and then just cut down, and we should have a really nice border around there. Yep. I'm going to use this Tombow Mono Multi Liquid Glue to adhere the embossed mat to my flat mat. That way I don't flatten this out. And then the framelit we cut out from my heart stamp set, I'm going to actually pop up with pop dots, because that's my other favorite way to adhere when you've got embossed. So we've got the focal point finish. I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to take my Fancy Fan, and I think I'm going to actually use the debossed side. And since our pattern paper is a base of Baja Breeze, I'm going to take Baja Breeze seam binding, and I'll show you a little trick I use. Take a little bit of snail adhesive on both ends. I'm going to have my ribbon be just slightly longer, maybe 1/2 inch longer on both sides. Flip this over. I just stuck it on each end, and now I'm going to take another piece of Baja Breeze seam binding, and this is just a scrap, so I'll see if I can make a bow out of it. I make 2 bunny ears. I just play with it till I have it the way I like it, and then I'm going to use a glue dot to adhere this, but I'm going to wait until I've got the rest of the card put together. So let me set this part aside. Now we can assemble the card. Take my designer series paper and my snail. I was going to use pop dots on this, but I think I'm going to try the Tombow Mono Multi again. I'm going to adhere this using dimensionals. And I'm just doing it at the very top and the very bottom to make sure that the dimensionals will go top and bottom of my strip. I'm going to take my glue dots. And instead of having to go this way like the sample, I'm going to turn it and go this way. Then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut the edge. And there you have it. The card is done. I think I'm in love with this card. I say that a lot. I really like this card. I think that the person getting it will really enjoy it too. I'm going to decorate the inside. I hope you learned something new today, picked up maybe a new tip, trick, or technique. Try finding sketches that you enjoy and love and making them your own. Hope you find some time today to get a little bit creative. Thank you for joining me. Bye.